Hello and welcome to Bias Bash. I'm Lauren Green, and on the hot seat today is Justin Duckham. He is the senior Washington correspondent for Talk Radio News. So we're talking about congressional scandals here, and it's tied into the fact that Representative Rob Andrews, from a Democrat from New Jersey, just resigned. What is it about his resignation that should be construed as a scandal?
Well, let's take a look at Rob Andrews. We know for a fact that he is currently under investigation for abusing campaign finance rules in regards to perhaps taking trips on campaign finance funds for personal reasons to Scotland or Los Angeles, and maybe even using a graduation party for his own daughter in order to illegally raise funds. And this really raises questions over what it takes for the media to pay attention to inappropriate behavior if you're a lawmaker. Of course, we have Trey Riddell, who bought coke in DuPont Circle, and we have Anthony Weiner, who sent out pictures of his genitals. But at the end of the day, it looks like if you're not doing something outrageous like that, you're sort of getting a free pass from the media.
But isn't it part of it, though, that sex sells? I mean, it's a lot easier to sell newspapers when you've got, having sex with a page, an underage, congressional worker, or adultery, or something that's sexier. I mean, campaign finance or laundering, that's not as sexy, though, isn't it?
No, it's not. And that really shows where the bias is coming from. The media has a long-standing bias towards sensationalism. And as a result, we end up not seeing stories like this until it has sort of a, interesting, sexy hook. Michael Grimm, for instance, we didn't really see much media coverage of his own money woes until he threatened to throw a reporter off a balcony in one of the House office buildings. And it really just begs the question, is this really helping Americans by only focusing on the most extreme cases of congressional wrongdoing? This is going to sound a little bit libertarian, but, I am much more interested in, people who abuse the system for their own personal gain or who abuse it to try to get a leg up in elections than I am about, grown men doing who knows what to their own body.
You've got a whole history, though, of congressional scandals where the representatives have actually bounced back. I mean, let's just take Barney Frank for one. I mean, here he had been, convicted of, he had admitted in 1989 to having a lengthy relationship with a male hooker who was running a prostitution service out of his apartment. Yet Barney Frank, bounced back, and, it didn't seem to hurt his political career. So is the media treating it differently now? I mean, saying you've got to resign, instead of, weather the storm?
That's a good question. And I think the fact that some lawmakers have the chance to bounce back means that they were torn down in the first place. But you have people like Rob Andrews who really never go through that sort of trial by fire that the media gives to those who, get involved in sex or drug scandals, who really never need to bounce back, who can sort of fade into obscurity, get lucrative jobs down the road, perhaps even run for a lesser office in the future, and never really need to do this sort of whole, public mea culpa thing that the media sort of requires from those who are involved in the much sexier scandals.
Oh, and also we have 24-hour news, we've got internet, you've got bloggers, you've got Twitter, you've got all sorts of stuff happening today. You just can't hide because, you're not going to be the lead story of the day kind of thing.
No, that's certainly true. And, that really raises a question. If we have 24 hours of news, there are a lot of lawmakers, there are plenty of hours to try to pay more attention to some of these more relevant stories that aren't necessarily the most interesting, but really do affect the country, in the long run, much more than simple sex or drug scandals. And, the media and not just cable news, newspapers as well should provide equal coverage to these sort of issues, I would say.
All right. Well, Justin Duckham, thank you very much, senior Washington correspondent for Talk Radio News Service. And if you want to hear more media analysis like this, check out Media Buzz, hosted by Howard Kurtz, 11 a.m. Sundays on Fox News Channel.